Welcome, and thanks for visiting the American Atheists website. I'm Ellen Johnson, the president of American Atheists. Even though it happened last week, we are still grieving over the tragic collapse of the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The final number of victims has yet to be determined, and so does the exact cause of this terrible accident. Unfortunately, people die in these sorts of tragedies every day. They're killed in car accidents, plane crashes, tsunamis, hurricanes, earthquakes, homicides, you name it. And when these events take place, religious people often rush into the midst of the grieving process with theological explanations. And government officials often jump into the middle of these tragedies too and implore us to pray for the dead. Sometimes they organize unconstitutional religious spectacles which border on the absurd. The governor of Alabama recently declared a day of prayer because of serious drought conditions there. In Louisiana, state leaders organized a round of prayer and worship events in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Grieving is an important part of our healing process. It is also understandable for people to ask, why them? Why did this have to happen? Or why did I survive? Why did so many people, including children, die? In the news coverage of the Minneapolis disaster, for instance, there have been many interviews with motorists who had just crossed the bridge seconds before the accident, and some who were in the catastrophe survived. God believers claim to have the answers to these questions. They often say that it's a miracle when people survive. Hundreds of people may die in an airplane crash or natural disaster, and we are told that a God just picks and chooses some people to live and some people to die. Believers say that their God works in mysterious ways, or that perhaps the painful death of a child is just part of an inscrutable plan. Does that make you feel better? Doesn't make me feel better. A recent ABC News poll, for instance, asked, how could a kind and benevolent God allow the tsunamis? 2% of the respondents claimed that while a God didn't cause a catastrophe, it allowed it to happen so that people could show compassion for one another. Well, where's the compassion from this God? This God kills people to teach us to be compassionate? That's a God you can keep. 88% thought that we simply will never know why bad things happen, but that a God will help us. But the facts just don't bear that out. If God's allowed the bridge to fall and kill people, do you really think that gods will care about your prayers or your problems? 8% said that events like tsunamis are punishment from a God. Pat Robertson and Billy Graham's daughter blamed 9/11, for instance, on atheists, among others. They said that since their God was physically removed from our public places, that is why this God couldn't be there to save people. I thought that if you were a believer, you were special, but sometimes people are killed in churches, or going to church, or in pilgrimages to religious shrines. Aren't the believers supposed to get a special dispensation or something for all their worshiping? At the end of the day, however, we all rely on atheism to solve our problems. That is, we think things through. We use science and technology to improve our lives. And right now, believers are utilizing atheism to find out what happened in Minnesota. Did the Minnesota bridge collapse because of a structural flaw or bad materials or due to some other cause? Engineers, scientists, and other experts will solve the problem. The answers aren't going to come from a holy book. We rely on emergency personnel to rescue us and medical personnel to make us well. We have to, because there aren't any gods who will do this. Believers can pray all they want to, but unless they use modern science and rational thinking, nothing will change for the better. The atheist solution is to take preventative measures, to make sure that we're prepared for these sorts of potential emergencies because we are on our own. We have to watch out for our children. We have to watch them like a hawk. We have to keep an eye on our teenagers. We have to take care of our own health. We have to be wary of strangers because we are our only hope. When we don't build good bridges, they collapse. We take care of each other, or bad things happen. You can learn more by exploring our website. Click on the link buttons on the left for all sorts of information about atheism and American atheists. And you can visit our shopping section for many books and products, and the legislative section for information on legislation of concern to atheists. And if you agree with what we have to say, we'd like you to join us. Members receive a magazine dedicated just to them, American Atheist Magazine. Thanks again for visiting our website.